Well, hello everyone. Welcome. Never mind. Actually, never mind. I'm sorry that you're here. You read the title. You know what we're doing today. It's gonna be interesting. I'm gonna try and keep this short, or short-ish, kind of. This is also gonna be a bit different because usually my videos are mostly edited, not heavily edited, but they're mostly edited. This one won't be edited at all, basically. So, just trying to do a different format. Where do I start? You read the title. You know what's going on. I guess I want to start by saying that some of my most favorite memories on my old Xbox 360 back in the day when I used to play games as a little young boy was Call of Duty. Now back then I didn't play games online, so I played the campaign, or unless it had bots, which a majority of the older CODs did not, but I played all the campaigns. And my favorite campaign was Modern Warfare 2. It was my favorite one. I played it over and over, and it's not because of the no Russian mission. In fact, as a very young boy, that mission was kind of crazy. Even to me, it was kind of crazy. But no, I just like Modern Warfare 2 a lot. I like the whole Modern Warfare trilogy. In fact, at the time, I enjoyed it more than Black Ops. Nowadays, I'm kind of back and forth. I don't really have a preference. They're all, I kind of enjoy them all. However, I think, as everyone knows, COD has not always been on this giant hill climb of a century, right? We all know that that's not what's happening here. COD has come out with some real stinkers, okay? And I'm not talking about Advanced Warfare. Not talking about Infinite Warfare, which I do know some people enjoyed. Today we're talking about Modern Warfare 3, part of the Reboot trilogy, or some people are calling it the Deboot. Okay, before we talk about Modern Warfare 3, the new one, I want to start by saying that the reboot, Modern Warfare 1 and 2, the rebooted ones, I've enjoyed thoroughly. I've played the campaigns and, of course, played the multiplayers. I'm not talking about the multiplayer today. I don't care, to be honest. I don't really care about the multiplayer. Like, I play it, but I don't care enough to know which one's better. I don't care. The campaigns, though, for Modern Warfare 1 and 2, I thought were very good. Very good. I think they're up there with some of the best campaigns in the series. I think they're really good. They're very cliche. They feel like watching a actually kind of well-written Michael Bay film. They have some really cool set pieces. Modern Warfare 2 had so many cool moments. I think a majority of the character changes, I should say, from the old trilogy are actually pretty good. I don't prefer Ghost's new design. Most people agree with me on that. I prefer his old design. I just think the little thing is a little stupid. Anyway, but overall, I think for one, spoilers. I think that keeping Ghost alive was great because Ghost is a great character. I think Ghost is a fantastic character. Okay, now we should probably go ahead and get to Modern Warfare 3 because I want this to not be too long. Modern Warfare 3 continues, of course. Modern Warfare 2. Spoilers. There's gonna be spoilers. I'm sorry. I can't without spoiling something. Modern Warfare 2 ended in a very interesting way. You take down your big baddie of the game. I don't even remember him, to be honest. I will say that Modern Warfare 2 did not have a very memorable bad guy. Well, besides General Shepard and Graves. But those two don't get really taken down in the second game, do they? Obviously, Shepard doesn't. Which was fine to me because it got me really hyped for the new game. It got me super hyped for the new game because of Shepard specifically. Graves, you blow him up, but that doesn't matter. He comes back in the third game somehow. Super hateable character. I hate him. Well written because he's supposed to be hateable, but God, I hate him. I hate every single piece of him. He's horrible. But Makarov is teased at the end of the second game. Makarov is a very, very famous character. He's also the main baddie from Modern Warfare 2 and 3, of course. And I think he's probably talked about in the first game. It's been a while. In fact, for this video, I was going to replay them all, but I don't have time for that. So, a big character like Makarov is teased, which honestly created the most amount of hype. And the post-credit scene in Modern Warfare 2 was no Russian. That's a way to get people hyped for the next game, because no Russian. I'm not even going to talk about it, because if you're watching this video, you know what no Russian is. So let's go ahead and get to the actual core of Modern Warfare 3. Like I said, it continues after all that. Obviously, the main baddie is technically, it should be General Shepard Graves Makarov. Graves is basically going to be your friend throughout the whole game. Graves does not die. Graves is not dead, at least to our knowledge. I mean, I don't know, but he's not dead. He helps you, in fact, a ton throughout the game. I hate him. I still hate him. I hate that he's, like, considered good in this game. I hate that he doesn't die in the end. Makarov also doesn't die in the end, which is... I knew that they were doing more than 3 Modern Warfares, because I said that a while back when they made the first one. They said they weren't going to do a trilogy. They were going to do more than 3. So, I guess it's fine. Okay. Getting off topic a little bit. I think I need to start over a little bit. We're going to start at the beginning of the game. The first bit of the game is interesting, and it's not immediately like, okay, this is going to suck, right? Then the rest of the game happens. So let's go over what makes this game so god-awful and easily the worst Call of Duty campaign to ever exist. So story-wise, a lot of people hate it. I think a majority of the cutscenes are fine. I don't hate them. I think they're fine. They're written pretty okay. The dialogue is fine. But there's some really big story stuff. Yet again, spoilers, because there's no way of talking about this without talking about spoilers. That are just god-awful. First, we're going to talk about Yuri. Yuri, another returning character. Yuri is a big deal. Yuri is a incredibly important character in the original trilogy. You play as him a ton. He's a very important character. He's very close to Makarov. He's a very important character. He's introduced. Oh my god, he's introduced. And immediately when you hear the name Yuri, you hear from Nikolai, and you're like, oh my god, Yuri. So he plays Laswell, and you have to infiltrate this Russian base, because she has an informant, and the informant is Yuri. Now, I want to just stop really quick. That's it. You meet Yuri at this Russian place, this Russian base. You get your like, it's research on something. Something. It's research. And the place gets bombed with these chemicals that Makarov stole. And then you leave, and then that's it. Yuri's never seen again. Arguably, one of the most important characters in Modern Warfare, if not like at least in the top 5, right? He's up there. He's an important character. Is seen once, and he's seen just giving you information. That's it. That's all. So Yuri's character in this game so far is just trash. They took Yuri, this character that was so important, burned him. Doesn't exist anymore. He basically doesn't exist. The character, and honestly, it was such a boring scene. Coming from someone who I would say, me, right now, I'm probably the one person that actually mostly liked the writing and dialogue in this game. I thought it was fine. I thought it was mostly okay. Most people are not going to agree with me on that. And coming from that one person, that scene was awful. I hated it. It was so blech. It was so blech. Yuri was not an interesting character at all. They took someone that was so good, so interesting, and just put him in the trash. Just put him in the trash. So that's we're kind of really adding up here on the bad things, right? Let's also talk about Makarov. Makarov, from what I've seen online, is very divisive on what people feel about him. His new design, right? New design, biggest thing. He looks completely different than the old trilogy. The original voice actor and mocap actor, and basically just the design of the character, was definitely better in the old games. definitely, especially the voice actor. Makarov's like attitude in this game is still kind of similar to the older one. He's a bit, I don't know. I think Makarov overall is he's all right. I mean, he's still kind of like, oh, scary villain, kind of badass guy, right? He's fine. He's okay. I don't hate him as much as some people do. I don't love him as some people tend to be doing right now. He's just okay. He's fine. There's nothing that interesting about him that makes him like, oh my gosh, I'm so excited about this character. Just Let's see. Let's talk about one more story thing before I just talk about like the gameplay, right? The actual game. So, the worst part about the game, including gameplay, including story, this is, in my opinion, the worst part of the game. Heavy spoilers, because it's the very end of the game. You finally track down, at least to where you know Makarov had been. He's going to do this big terrorist-y type thing. He's going to, like, kill a bunch of civilians. It's the thing, right? It's his thing. Now, the whole task force goes to this tunnel to try and stop his plan. You fight through a bunch of people, you know. And so Price and Soap are taking a bomb that he was going to use, Makarov, and then they try to defuse it. As you're defusing it, the worst moment in COD history happens. Makarov just appears out of absolute thin air, as if he had just never. I mean, genuinely, he just appears out of nowhere. Shoots Soap what at first appears like in the face, like he just murdered him. Soap flops onto the ground, and then Price, he goes, "Oh hey, what's up? Hey, don't do that." Price also gets shot, and then Makarov is about to finish him off, and then Soap awakens out of nowhere, takes Makarov, tries to, I think stabs him if I'm correct, like in the neck or something, and Makarov gets the upper hand and officially shoots and kills Soap. Soap now on the ground, dead. Price is also there. Oh, and then there's like a bunch of like military people around them that just for some reason don't shoot until after that's all done, and then they out of nowhere start shooting and like, oh crap, hey, that's Makarov, get him. Makarov escapes, of course he does. And then Price gets up and he's like, oh, dang, that sucks. 1 KIA. And then they're on a mountainside, spreading, like, letting Soap's ashes just fly into the wind. At first, great scene. To be honest, the scene's not even that bad. It's pretty nice. It's very sweet. They say some kind words, Price says, sleep easy, soldier, and Gaz, talks about how they're, they got it from here, and Ghost just says, rest in peace, Johnny. The problem to me with all of this is probably the same problem I would imagine everyone has, because this entire thing that happened is just the revolting. Is, for one, the way that Soap goes out is abysmal. If not, I wish I could find a worse word. It's almost criminal how he goes out. It's horrible. I mean, it could not be worse. The way Soap goes out is horrendous. The whole scene is dumb. None of it makes sense. It really does feel like they were trying to think of a way to finish this, right? Like, oh man, we really gotta end this game now. How do we do it? Oh, well, just have Makarov come out of nowhere and just kill Soap. Why not? Isn't that kind of crazy? And then that's what they do, and that's what happens, and that's how the game ends. Oh. But wait, there's a post-credit scene. Oh, shit. These post-credit scenes get kind of crazy sometimes. They get kind of wild. It's Price, and he's in Shepard's office. Now, Shepard and Graves, at this point, had basically had a criminal trial for everything that they did in the second game, which was basically sell illegal. Shepard sold illegal missiles, and then Graves basically tried to take out Task Force 141. Shepard gave him the order to kill them in the second game. Now during the court case, Shepard owns up to all the illegal weaponry stuff they do, or he does, and then says that he does not give Graves the order to kill Task Force 141. Obviously, he's lying. And then Graves comes out of nowhere and says, "Oh no, he did. He told me to do that, and it was him. It was General Shepard." So he's honest. But then he's asked, "Oh, well, did you carry out on that?" And he tried to. I mean, it's kind of weird. Technically, he didn't carry out, but he tried to carry out on it. He tried to kill them. And then he's like, "No, I did not. Of course not." So they both lie in the end. Anyway, so they both do stupid, scummy thing, right? So Price is there. I guess after Soap dying was like the nail in the coffin for him. Now, my guess is I'm pretty sure that after the court happened, they probably officially decided, okay, well now Shepard has to go because he broke technically a promise, because at this point there's a lot to it that I don't even want to get into in the video, because before Makarov had been trying to, if I'm correct, from what it seemed like, from the limited stuff they gave you during the game, it seemed like Makarov was kind of working with Shepard or something, but then he found Shepard and it looked like he was taking him to like a prison or something, and somehow Task Force accidentally finds him because they're trying to find Makarov and they think Makarov's with him. Anyway, so they find him and they're like, "Hey, we'll save you, we'll let you come back and everything be chill, but you got to go to Congress and tell them exactly what you did." And so because he lied to Congress, I'm pretty sure the whole task force was like, okay, he's got to go. Because they had a little picture of Makarov while watching the court case. They were watching at this like helicopter thing. They had a picture of Makarov and Farah, a character that, yet again, if you're watching this, you should know like at least the characters. Farah, who's from the first two games, places down a picture of Shepard right next to Makarov, kind of telling you, okay, so now Shepard is on the hit list. So the post-credit scene is Price in Shepard's office. Shepard's like, "Oh, what's up, man? How'd you get in here?" And Price is like, "Well, we know Laswell, don't we? And Laswell let me in. Laswell wants you gone." He doesn't say that. Anyway, Price kills Shepard in a cutscene. Then the game ends. Why is this upsetting? Some may be asking. Maybe people that didn't play the game or didn't play the other games might be asking, well, why is that so upsetting? It's because it's so unbelievably unsatisfying. It's a post-credit scene, by the way. Some people don't watch those, so there's a chance some people didn't even know that happened. I mean, I would imagine you'll probably found out at some point, but some people don't watch those things. Some people didn't even know, probably, that Shepard died in the end. He dies in a post-credit scene. Shepard is like one of the main baddies of not just the old trilogy, because he is a main baddie in the old trilogy, but then in this reboot, he's a big, big, big deal. And he dies in a post-credit scene. So, let's go over that one more time. Yuri is basically not even a character anymore. Just make sure I remember everything. The story overall was just kind of okay. Like, well written. It was fine. It was still, decent. It was okay. Soap's death, in general, was just the worst. In my opinion, worst moment in Call of Duty history. Shepard being killed in a post-credit scene. Not even at the hands of, like, the player, which is usually what happens to main bad guys. They usually get killed by the player. Price does it in a post-credit scene. So, that's kind of the story stuff. It was rough. It was not great. It was not great at all. There was good cutscenes, really good cutscenes, good moments. The soap, them spreading Soap's ashes through with the wind. That was not even that bad of a scene between them. It was fine. The only problem I had was Soap. By the way, actually, I want to address this. Soap does die in the old games too. He does. He dies in the old games. He dies in the third game. He does. I'm not mad that Soap died. I'm not. I'm okay when characters like that die sometimes, as long as it's well written, makes sense, and is at least in some way accurate to what the game is trying to do. Soap's death in the old trilogy was really good. It was actually quite good. And the scene when Price finally realizes that Johnny is dead, Price loses his mind. You know, he's like, no, Johnny, no. It's really good. It's like strong. You're like, oh my god, yeah. You remember that Price and Soap are close. They've been training together for years. They're like, I mean, Soap is Soap because of Price, right? They're connected. And the new games, you couldn't even tell that Bryce and Johnny have known each other. In fact, to be honest, it looked like Ghost cared more than Price did. So that's my problem. It didn't make sense. He was written off awful, just in the worst way. He died in the worst way. Didn't make sense. It was very stupid. And then the whole Price thing, it's so inconsistent. I just didn't get it. There was no emotion. Not nearly as enough emotion when you compare it to the old game. Anyway, so that's the story stuff. Out of the way. That stuff is big to me. However, let's talk about the gameplay. Some people sometimes just like the craziness of Call of Duty, right? They like playing the campaign because there's a lot of crazy set-piece moments. Call of Duty's known for that. Their campaigns, if anything at all, if you're not into the story, a Call of Duty campaign can mostly promise a really good, like, Michael Bay, crazy action-packed, almost Uncharted-esque, set piece. So I got bad news for you. That's not here. Not at least not mostly. Yeah, so the gameplay is what easily makes this the worst campaign in my opinion. It's not the story. The story sucks. And there's issues there, and there's some good things, there's some issues. It doesn't make it the worst one, though. It just makes it an unsatisfying story so far, is where I'm feeling with the stories. It's very unsatisfying. The gameplay, though, and the missions are easily the worst of any Call of Duty game ever made. And I'm going to stand by that. I'm going to stand by that till the day I die, or until they somehow make it a worse one. So there's something... I'm going to address the elephant in the room that everyone that played this game is probably surprised I haven't even mentioned yet. This game is like 3 to 4 hours long. I completed it like in 3. That's crazy. Call of Duty campaigns are known for not being long, right? They're known for being like a nice... honestly, they've always been the perfect length to me. They've always been the perfect amount of time. They're usually well above a 4-hour mark. I mean, I'm pretty sure most of them go up to 8 hours if I'm right. I don't know. If you like take your time, they can go about 8 hours. They're like a good amount of time. They're perfect. They're perfect. The length has always been perfect in my opinion. They have never felt slow. They have never felt rushed. This one was rushed. It didn't feel rushed. It was. It 100% was rushed. It was rushed. That's just a fact. It was rushed. So, 4 hours, 3 to 4 hours. I completed it in like 30. So, maybe even a little below that. I completed it very quick. Now the missions, right? The set pieces. I just told you that there wasn't very many of them. That's a problem, right? Well, yeah, that's because there's like 2 to 3 like 3 missions that are your normal Call of Duty missions. Linear, hey, go here, do this. Linear missions. What Call of Duty's known for. And those 3 have some cool moments in them, kinda. Not really. But a little bit. They have moments in them. Every other mission is atrocious. See, Call of Duty decided, hey, let's do something different. Let's do something interesting. Instead, let's do something called an open combat mission. So instead of going in a linear fashion, let's give the players this big semi-open world map. Now, open world is saying way too much because it's not an open world. It's an open area of a map. Maps that were very clearly taken from Warzone, by the way. These weren't new maps. These were obviously already used assets that they took, changed a little bit, and made for the game. It very much was that. It was Warzone locations. Literally half the game, if not more than half the game, took place in Verdansk, which is the Warzone map. Just saying. Just saying. But these open combat missions was very comparable to a Far Cry game. It felt very. You have 3 to 4 objectives. Go do this, destroy that, take this, steal this, and you can be sneaky about it. Ooh, you can be a little sneaky, or you can go all guns and blazing, go crazy. Then you would do those. You would go and get your thing. You'd leave. Mission over. They were boring, dull, lifeless. Sometimes just annoying, just plain annoying. And honestly, I'm pretty sure that when they made them, they assumed that this would make the game longer. Because they thought, oh, there's more stuff to go look at. There's not. It's buildings, cars, and like pavement. And then, what's that over there? It's a chest with like a slightly better gun than I have. I gotta go down there and get that. These missions are the worst part of the game. They're horrible. They, in my opinion, have nothing good about them. There's nothing good about them. I hate them. I think they're horrendous. They're terrible. Anyway, open combat missions. Another reason why this game, if not the reason why this game sucks. Tied to the fact that this game is like 3 to 4 hours long. And that's pretty much it for the gameplay. Oh. Y'all thought I was going to forget. Let's talk about no Russian. Now, in Modern Warfare 2, by the way, not 3, but 2, there was the no Russian mission. Now, no Russian is a mission in which Makarov and a group of Russians, and with one undercover American, because he's supposed to be there to try and get close to Makarov, see what's happening, Joseph Allen, they go to a Russian airport and murder a bunch of Russian civilians. And then at the very end, Makarov, as they're escaping somehow, which is still crazy to me, that a little bit crazy, but anyway, as Allen is getting into the escape vehicle with them, it's an ambulance, Makarov shoots him and kills him and leaves him there to die. Obviously, he knew that Joseph Allen was undercover and an American. He leaves him there to make it look like an American did that, like an American terrorist, so that there could be a start of a war between Russia and the U.S. Interesting, very cool concept. The mission is controversial because you play that mission. There are civilians in the mission that you shoot. So it's very controversial. It's a crazy mission. It is kind of crazy when you think about it. It's kind of crazy that they actually had the balls to do that. Very controversial, though. So, of course, when they had shown that there was a no Russian mission in this, people freaked out. They were like, oh my gosh, no Russian 2. So let me talk about no Russian. First off, the mission's not called no Russian. It's called something else. It's called, I don't even know what it is. It starts by you playing as a civilian. You think it's a civilian on a plane. You're on a plane that is flying. First off, 2 things hit your mind. You're like, oh crap, a civilian. That is kind of interesting. That's a cool take. That's different. And on a plane, that's awesome. I'm pretty sure CODs, there's only been one like other COD that I can think of that had like a small little plane mission. Like on a flying plane, just inside of it. It's really cool. So you're playing as a ULF, or an ex-ULF fighter. ULF is the Urzikstan Liberation Front, and it's led by Farah. So she's an ex-ULF. She's not ULF anymore. She's leaving right then. She's on the plane to go see her family. And there's this guy next to her, and he's like, I know who you are, Samara. You used to be in ULF. You fought the Russians. Because Russia really wants Urzikstan. That's like the whole thing. That's also Makarov's thing, is he wants to take back Urzikstan. So he uses this ULF ex-ULF fighter, and basically tries to make her look like a terrorist. He leaves her with a bomb on her chest, and Makarov's also on the plane telling her what's happening, and then he just jumps off, and with the parachute. And so she's left there to basically let the plane blow up. And so she ends up blowing up, and Makarov's whole plan is to make it look like, the ULF did it. So then Russia could basically legally invade Urzikstan and take it. Also, just a bunch of other ULF stuff. So, so my problem with No Russian. Some people's problem with No Russian is that it wasn't No Russian. As in, it wasn't that same mission. That's not actually my problem with it. Because I didn't really personally care if they did No Russian again. I'm someone who is okay with what they did. I don't think that what they did was the biggest issue. They're kind of allowed to do that. That's the whole thing with making a video game. They're allowed to make that a part of the video game if they want to. I'm not in that group of people that thought, "Oh my gosh, that was not okay." I don't care. I think it was completely. I thought it was fine. It's not a big deal. But I'm also not in that group of people that are so in love with that mission that they're like, "Well, they have to do it again." I don't agree. I think that Makarov's whole framing it on someone else so that Russia does something is fine. I like that, and it makes sense. That's his whole character thing that he does, and I think No Russian needed to happen for that reason. But I think the problem is they advertised No Russian at the end of Modern Warfare 2 as the post-credit scene, and made it look like they were literally about to have you do the next, a No Russian 2. That's the problem, is it got people excited. And I don't want to say excited because people were like, yes, but people are interested because that's a very big. To be fair, in the old games, that was a very important mission. That is what caused World War III in the old games. That is literally a huge, huge mission. So people were kind of getting hype about the fact, okay, oh my god, we're going in that direction again. That's my problem with it, and it didn't go in that direction. In fact, what I failed to mention to you, to everyone here, is that not only was it really not even No Russian, but also afterwards it didn't cause anything, because Farah just went back to the old crash site and took anything that could lead it back to, oh yeah, the ULF is a terrorist group and that's who did it. It was a terrorist attack. She took everything that would possibly make that seem that way. So then that did nothing. In fact, what seemed to happen in this game is Makarov would do something, they would view it as successful, but he just kept doing something that you would try and fix, and that either you didn't fix or didn't, and then just go down to the next thing he was doing. It was so ironically, inconsistently consistent. And it did not work. It just didn't. The whole game did not work. So, I've rambled enough. And these videos, by the way, are going to probably be a little common. And I'm sorry that this one's so long. It's going to be around probably 30 to 40 minutes. I'm sorry. I actually don't want them to be this long. But I think these are fun for me because I like to ramble. I like to yap, especially about video games and movies and shows. So there's a chance that if I do reviews, this is probably how it's going to be. I mean, not to steal old Moisty's, basically, Moisty's way of doing things. I mean, this is kind of how he does videos, but this for me feels more fun and enjoyable for me personally, because I love editing, but editing is more fun when it's not something like this for me. So for these, there's probably just going to be like this. I mean, they're going to be kind of a little boring and for some people, or more interesting for some people. So these are going to be for people that just enjoy me. So I just want to address that really quick. So as we're finishing up here, I am going to review and rate things here. So with Modern Warfare 3, the reboot, how would I rate this? And I'm thinking out of 10. I'll do a 10 rating. I like 10 ratings. I'm not going to do the 100. I'm not trying to steal Charlie's whole thing. I'm going to do out of 10. 5 is too small. 5 doesn't give a lot of it doesn't give you enough room to do things. So I'm gonna go out of 10. And it's hard to rate this for me because when I rate things, I will say I'm bad about trying to rate them in different ways, right? Because there's rating this like a video game, just as a video game, or rating this as a Call of Duty game. As a Call of Duty game, this is easily like a 2 or a 1. Because this is the worst Call of Duty I've ever played. Now, as a video game with multiplayer and everything, I'm not even going to talk about zombies. For one, I'm not like a huge zombies person. I'm like one of the few out here. It's fine. It's not my cup of tea. They're good games. Like, I understand that they're good games. They are. They're well designed. But they're not my cup of tea. As a game, out of 10, I would give Modern Warfare 3 a 4. Maybe a 4.5. 5 seems a little too high for me personally, because 5, it means that it was meh. And to me, it wasn't meh. It was bad. It was on the bad side. So I'd probably give it a 4. If not, now that I'm thinking about it, like a 3.5 to a 4. So, like a 3.87. I'm kidding. I'm not going to go that crazy. But I think that's honestly it. I think that's genuinely where I'm going to leave this off. I'm going to give this like a 3.5 to a 4. This game was awful. Also, I know that it's a little weird that I'm reviewing a game that's been out for so long now. And by so long, I mean for a Call of Duty game. It's been out, so. I thought I would review this with, Black Ops coming out in October, which I am excited about. I watched the whole video for that. Looks fun. Looks interesting. But I'm going to do more videos about like this, especially here, like in the next few weeks. I'm going to have a few coming out like this. Over some games, and then I have some movies and shows that I'm going to be reviewing. I'm going to be, my next videos I'm going to be reviewing Season 4 of The Boys. I'm watching that tonight with a friend. That's going to come out probably in the next 2 days. And then I'm reviewing one game that I'm not going to talk about right now. And then a movie that I'm not going to talk about right now. Anyway, honestly, I think that's where I'm going to end the video. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 is a campaign is an absolute travesty, and I really hate that it exists, and it was the worst idea that I've ever seen Call of Duty do. Never do it again, and if they do Modern Warfare 4, I swear to God it better be better than Modern Warfare 1 and 2, and it better be just insanely good that I forget that Modern Warfare 3 even ever happened. In fact, just scrap MW3 at this point. Just scrap it. Just scrap it. It's hard, to me it's hard to visualize how they can save it. So, anyway, that's all I'm gonna say for today. Thank you for watching. Let me know in the comments how you feel. I'd love to see your reviews. Let me know how you feel about my takes. There's probably a lot of things I missed. I yamble. I don't know what the hell yamble is. I talk a lot, and honestly, I tend to forget things when I'm talking like this. So, I'll see you in the next video. Like I said, the next video will probably be the one about the next game that I'm reviewing, but I'm just going to wait to tell you what that is because it doesn't really matter. So, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.